All right, so let's complete the Unit 8 review. The measures of one angle of a triangle is 40 degrees. The other two angles are congruent to each other. What is the measure of each congruent angle? Well, we have a triangle. We know that one is 40 degrees. And then we know that the other two angles are going to be the exact same measure. Okay? So you have 40 plus x equals 180. Because the sum of the interior angles is 180 degrees. So here we have 40 plus 2x equals 180 because we combine like terms. Now we're going to subtract 40 from both sides. 2x equals 140. Divide by 2. X equals 70. So each of the angles is 70. So you have two angles at 70 and one at 40. Okay. Hillary drew a triangle and labeled its vertices J, K, and L. The measure of angle J is 60 degrees. The measure of angle K is 35. What is the measure in degrees of angle L? So you take 35 plus 60 plus x equals 180. Okay, 35 plus 60 is what? 95. So you have 95 plus x equals 180. And then we subtract 95. X equals 85. So the measure of angle L is 85 degrees. What is the sum of the measures of all the interior angles of a triangle? 180. All of the angles inside of a triangle, all three angles will always add up to 180. It does not matter what kind of triangle it is. All three angles are always going to add up to 180 degrees. Number 4. It says, the diagram below shows a triangle. Based on the angle measures in the diagram, what is x? Okay. Well, we have 58 plus 90 plus x equals 180 degrees. Because all of the angles added together equal 180. 58 plus 90 is 148. Plus x is 180. And you subtract 148. Subtract 148. X equals 32 degrees. Number 5. The sum of the measures of the three angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. What is the measure of one angle in an equilateral triangle? Equilateral triangle, all three measurements, all three angles are the exact same degree. So we take 180, we divide it by 3, and we would get 60 degrees for each angle. Number 6. Line L, line M, and line N intersect to form triangle STV as shown below. What is the measure of, let me use a highlighter. What is the measure of SVT? So I actually want to know what is that measurement right there. So all the angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So we have 112 plus 36 plus x equals 180. 112 plus 36 is going to be 148 plus x equals 180. Subtract 148 from both sides. X equals 32 degrees. We good? 7. In the figure below, triangle A, B, and C is a right triangle, and the measure of angle A is 40 degrees. What is the measure of ECD? So they want to know ECD. They want to know, what is this measure right here? Okay? Well, the first thing that we know is that all three angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So I have 40 plus 90 plus x equals 180. 40 plus 90 is 130. I'm going to subtract 130. X equals 50. So this angle is 50 degrees. If this angle is 50 degrees, this angle is 50 degrees because they're corresponding angles. Okay? So this is 50 degrees. They're not 50 degrees because of the equation. They're 50 degrees because they're corresponding angles right there. Number 8. In the triangle, what is the degree measure of ABC? So they actually want to know what's the measure of angle B. Now, I have to figure out what is the measure of angle C, because the measure of angle C is not given to me. But I know that this measure and this measure equal what? 180. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, excuse me, 135 plus x equals 180. Oh, man. I need to even out this card here. Okay, so we're going to subtract 135. Thank you. Minus 135. X equals what? 45. So this is 45 degrees. Okay? Now, all the angles inside of a triangle equal 180. So we're going to go 25 plus 45 plus x equals 180. You just have to take all the little tools out of your toolbox and solve each step to break these problems down and make them easy. Okay? So 45 plus 25 is 70. Plus x equals 180. Subtract 70. X equals 110 degrees. In the diagram below, shows 3 intersecting lines. Based on the measures of the diagram, what is x? Okay? Well, this one is 35 degrees. So that means this angle is 35 degrees because they're corresponding angles. So we just set up another equation. 35 plus 80, oopsie, plus x equals 180. 35 and 80 is 115, right? 115 plus x equals 180. Subtract 115. X equals 65 degrees. So remember, supplementary angles that form a straight line are 180, and all the angles inside of a triangle equal 180. All right, number 10. The measure of angle I in the figure, what is the measure of angle 1? Is that 1 or I? 1 in the figure below. Okay, so we first have to figure out what this measurement is, right? So let's do that part first. 78 plus 37 plus x equals 180. 78 plus 37 equals 115. If you subtract 115 from both sides, x equals 65, correct? Okay, so we know this is 65 degrees. But now I know that these two angles added together are 180 because they form a straight line. So 65 plus x equals 180. Subtract 65. X equals 115. Now, there's another way to do that, and it's the exterior angle theorem that says if you add up the two remote interior angles, it equals the exterior. So we could have just added up 78 and 37, and that is the measure of angle 1, and you can see because we did it the other way also. Okay? So if it's an exterior angle, you can add up the two remote interior angles, or if you prefer to find everything on the inside and then subtract it, that's fine also. So there's two methods to that one problem. In the diagram below, Jill lives on street Q. Okay, so here's street Q, here's her house. And Samantha lives on street R. So here's street R, and there's Samantha's house. Since street P is a transversal for streets Q and R, which term describes the location of the angles of Samantha's friend's house? Okay, so what they're pretty much saying is we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal. What is the name of these two? Well, first off, they're outside the parallel line, so that is exterior. Okay, so I can mark off everything that doesn't have exterior in it. And they're on the opposite side of the transversal, so opposite is alternate. So alternate exterior angles. Number 12. In this diagram, which is a pair of alternate exterior angles? Okay, 3 and 5. 3 and 5. They are not exterior because exterior means outside. So we're going to mark that off. 3 and 8. Well, 3's inside, so I don't even care where 8's at. Okay. 1 and 7. 1 and 7. Well, I like that one, so put a dot next to it. And then 5 and 6. Well, those are inside. So the only answer you have is C. Number 13. If line R is parallel to line S, then which angles must be congruent? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn my paper so that I have two parallel lines cut by a transversal. I'm going to highlight everything that is the exact same, y'all. I know that 2, 4 are the same because they're corresponding. I know 4 is the same as 6 because they're alternate interior. And I know that 2 and 8 are the same because they're alternate exterior. Okay, and then that means 1, 3, 7, and 5 have the same measures. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my paper back around. So I have to figure out which two angles are congruent. So they have to have the same color on them. Okay, 1 and 2. One's yellow, one's pink, so it can't be that. 2 and 3. One's yellow, one's pink. 4 and 5. One's yellow, one's pink. 6 and 4. Because they're alternate interiors, those are the ones that are congruent. Sorry about the video, my phone keeps shaking. In the figure below, line L is parallel to line M. Line P is parallel to line R. Which angle has the same measure as angle 1? Okay, so these are parallel lines. These are parallel lines. These are also transversals. Those are transversals, okay? So what is congruent to the measure of angle 1? It says angle 2 Okay, so this and this. Okay, let's actually highlight here. So this angle, this angle, this angle, and that angle is congruent. Now, if these are parallel lines, this and this and this and this are congruent. Okay, because they're parallel. So this is a corresponding angle, alternate interior, alternate exterior. Well, this angle and this angle are the same, so then I do the same on this line. So 2 is not congruent. 3, maybe, looks like it. 4, no. And 5, no. So the answer is B, angle 3. Use the figure below to answer the question. Line M and line N are parallel. What is the measure of angle 4? They want to know what is the measure of this one right here. Okay? Now, this angle right here is 125. We know that this angle and this angle are the exact same because they are alternate exterior angles. So we're going to put 125 right there. Okay? Now, angle 3 and 4 are supplementary angles. So we're going to take 125 plus x equals 180, minus 125 minus 125, x equals 55 degrees. So the measure of angle 4 is 55 degrees. All right. Number 16. In the diagram below, line L is parallel to line M, and line K intersects both lines, which means that line K is the transversal. Okay? Based on the angle measure in the diagram, what is the value of x? Okay? So this angle is the same as this angle, which is the same as this angle. Okay? So 37 is the same as this one. So this is 37 degrees. That looks like 370. Sorry, 37 degrees. So 37 plus x equals 180 because this right here are supplementary angles. Minus 37, minus 37, x equals 143 degrees. One more and then I'll stop this video and then I'll have part 2 in a minute. In this figure, line A is parallel to line B. If the measure of angle 3 is 68 degrees, what is the measure of angle 6?